I feel like I'm Helen Keller. Okay, I don't know if we were live at that moment, but we are live now. It is 8:12, and right, like if I was on national television, I probably would have been fired because I would have lost my job, because those of you are waiting for, hold on, we're not recording. We are recording on this computer and hopefully have enough room on this computer. And if not, somebody who loves us out there will record this, download it, and send it to us, because we have to take a beat. We just got to hold. And who we are, if you're just tuning in for the first time, and why are we here? Well, and again, I am sorry for being late, but apparently Facebook, Zoom, Instagram, I don't know what I'm playing with tonight. They've decided that they're going to do things differently, and they did not give me the memo. So I'm just going to take a beat. I'm going to let you guys know that we love you. We really do. And we want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate your patience. And if I just maybe dropped an inappropriate funniness or made you laugh or something at the beginning of our show, I apologize, but I went into fun energy because I was in frustrated energy a hot minute ago. Switch. And we are here. We are live. And what are we doing? We are doing Celebrate Your Success Sunday. Jasmine is doing what she can to make sure that Zoom, that's supposed to marry us and like work seamlessly, we are, that's a thumbs down, folks.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
We're trying, right? Like, and we are loving it.
Yes.
Okay? I'm done with all the tools.
Yeah.
Because, we discovered that Facebook and Zoom do not like
emojis.
Right, that's the word. So I was trying to put some cool things, and it just kept telling me I'm playing a game. So it's like, I don't know what's happening. There's no game. We are here. Actually, this is not a game. Let's be real. We're here for Celebrate Your Success Sunday. My name is a.k.a. Siegel, and I'm your grateful realtor. And we're here every Sunday, unless it's like a holiday or a major training events. And I am with, who are you and what's your name?
My name is, thank you, Erica. My name is Jasmine, and I am your super savvy shopper. And pretty much we're here because it is Celebrate Your Success Sundays, like Erica was saying, where we alternate and share ideas, strategies, techniques, and information about how you can watch your wallet with two of our favorite things in the world, which is shopping and real estate. However, today, and I think the next couple of shows in our series, we're going to be talking about something serious as well, which is bringing awareness to domestic violence, since it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah, it is. And while we were making a funny, right, some jokes about going live, because I was dropping F-bombs and frustrated, it was all in play and fun in Jasmine and I, but that happens in homes. And that's a form of domestic violence. And I wasn't dropping them at Jasmine. I was talking to Zoom, and Zoom, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And now, here's what we're offering you guys. We're gonna go back to where you can register soon for our courses, we'll call it. And we've just had busy couple of weeks. Jasmine's in school. I've been dealing with some like personal dynamics in my home, to be honest. But we're here, and we're here to answer questions, comments, offer any clarification. So don't be shy. Jasmine's been teaching for over 18 years, and or just getting to her 18th year of teaching. Excuse me. And I was a classroom teacher for 3 years, been in real estate for actually just under 13 years. I don't know how to count, apparently. And I did once teach math, just so you're clear. Right, so it's like fun energy. And what we're talking about tonight is a serious topic. So we alternate topics, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I am, we'll call it a survivor, I suppose, of that topic. And I had suggested, since it's something so near and dear to me, that we do our series for the next 4 weeks to just enlighten people about what's happening. And I had no idea when I suggested it that Jasmine actually had a personal story about this. And I've known Jasmine for, 20 years-ish?
A little over 20 years, probably.
A little over 20 years. Yeah. So when you just find out. And while this is a super serious topic, Please forgive Mr. Softy in the background because he is here. So I'm just letting you know that I am not intentionally throwing in funny music or dancing or anything. And Celeste, if you're watching live or on the replay, hi. Mr. Softy is in the house. And if we were in a real studio, there'd probably be other dynamics that could shift that, maybe headphones or something. But we're here and it's okay. And so with that said, we're gonna start the show. And my producer probably would have cut me off from talking at this point, so I'm gonna go on. So I would like to kind of go into a little bit more of, I guess I'm gonna allow you to start and tell us like where you want to take us. I think that there's, yeah, go for it.
So like Erica was talking, Erica and I were talking recently, and how we came up with this idea or why we wanted to talk about this topic that was near and dear to both of our hearts is pretty much, Erica mentioned herself. She had a personal story about going through this, going through domestic violence, being in a relationships, such as that. And, thinking about it, and it triggered even things that have happened in my personal life, not with me personally, like in my own relationships, but my mother actually was in a domestic violence relationship marriage with my dad. And a lot of people don't know that. I think, us talking about it, and we always, every time we talk, we always think about things, how to push our business forward. But even besides that, just about life in general, right? And how every day someone's affected by something. And, just to name some statistics that a lot of people don't even realize, the fact that, like you mentioned on one of your posts, like 1 out of 4 women are in relationships that deal with domestic violence. It's really sad to say, but it even goes even further, like when you think about it, 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men, because I don't want to just assume that it's just women being in domestic violence relationships. We want to make sure that men are accounted for too, because it's happening to them as well, have been injured by an intimate partner, either it be a beating, a slapping, a pushing. These are all things that we don't even take into consideration, right? 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence. And that's something that's really big that people don't think about, because a lot of men don't even want to talk about it. They feel like in our society, men should be stronger than women, and men need to, hold back. But women are beating, burning, strangling men just as men are doing to women. And it's horrible. And now with the pandemic, I think a lot of people, even, as a teacher, these are the things that we worry about, because sometimes your home isn't safe. And even though it should be, sometimes it's not. And we need to really take into consideration how that affects people on an everyday basis, right? 1 in 10 women have been raped by an intimate partner. And 1 in 7 women and 1 in 18 women have been stalked. I think this is a big thing, because a lot of people don't realize in domestic violence relationships, stalking is involved by an intimate partner during a lifetime at a specific point, which people are fearful, and they believe that someone close to, can't believe that someone close to them can harm them in such a way, because it's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's financial. You're talking about all different levels of abuse. And, it's really important that we discuss it and we have an open forum and bring it to light, because a lot of people like to sweep it under the rug, and it's a topic that shouldn't be swept under the rug. And one of the reasons why I wanted to touch upon this topic too is, like I said, I mentioned my mom, and a lot of people don't realize, but my mom and my father, my mom was in a domestic violence marriage, and she was dealing with that for a very long time. And when she decided to leave it, I was 4 years old. One of my sisters were 3. She had 4 kids under the age of 5 at that moment, at that time. She didn't have the money because she wasn't technically the breadwinner in we're looking at in the 80s, right. And she had my youngest sister was 6 weeks old when my mom decided to leave and take that big jump to leave my dad, because what he did was he hit her over the head with a stapler.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it, a lot of people don't think about these things, but it happens every day. And I'm talking about people that you think are good. I'm going to say quote unquote good citizens, right? It's people who are protecting our society, people who are in this world that are looked upon as helpful people, essential people, right? All these
Yeah,
things can
yeah.
happen to anyone. And I think that was a big reason why when you brought up this topic, I was like, you know what, you're right. It's something that people need to talk more about. So I thank you. And I'm grateful that you even wanted to talk about this topic, because it definitely touches home with both you and me, and makes you realize a lot of different things about people, the good and the
Well,
bad and the ugly.
yeah. And, speaking of the good, the bad, and the ugly, just I didn't want to overstep something that you said that you didn't think. I'm just going to make a note, by the way. I have a cat that sometimes might need my attention right now. And if I hear noises in the background, she's a little under the weather. So if I'm turning my head, that's kind of what's happening. So I apologize. But yeah, so you mentioned that you personally have never been in this. And I think that there might have been, and this will be like potentially on another show, right? I think there could have been just things that people might have said to you in relationships that might have been considered abusive.
Yeah,
And
I
people
mean,
think it's like funny. We make jokes, like, and we don't realize. So just noticing that, yeah, Jasmine's mom had the physical part that she knew of, and just let's continue with that story. But I didn't want to overstep that. Sometimes people can't see, like, just like I couldn't even see I was in anything like of the sort at
right.
all. It was a blind spot. And
It doesn't need to just be physical, right? Like I was saying, it's physical, emotional, mental. In particular with what my mom's story is what I was in reference to, right? The
yeah,
physicality of it.
yeah. And so with that physicality and with your mom's story, she went through a lot. I mean, 4 kids under the age of 5, one 6 weeks old, all by herself, not being the breadwinner. So obviously she had to find a way to financially support 4 kiddos. How did she do it? And what did she do?
I think a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of us have pride or too much pride. People need to, when you're in an abusive relationship, you need to rely on people that are important in your life. Your family, your friends, your tribe, people who are there to support you infinitely. And I think that's what my mom had, at certain parts of the relationship that she was in. Like, I remember the day she left I was 4, like I said, the day she left my father, it was in the middle of the night. She took all of us and we went to my uncle's house and we stayed with him, because that's a place that she felt safe, you
Mm,
know? And I think the number one thing that people need to realize is feeling safe, either it be in someone else's home or in your home, is a really big thing, because like I said, your home is supposed to be your safety net. It's supposed to make you feel comfortable, and it's where you're supposed to be grounded, and a place that you can like sleep and know that you're fine and that everything is going to be okay.
yeah,
And people in abusive relationships don't have that. They don't feel that sense of security and safeness, right? And it's important that you rely on the people that you love and people that love you. So that's what my mom did. And I think starting fresh is never easy. I mean, at that point, my mom was under 30. So she was a young mom with 4 kids. And back then in the 80s, early 80s, that's how life was, right? But she was able to have friends help her get a job. She, like I said, relied on my grandparents, my uncle, her brother. So even, a next door neighbor. I mean, one of the most special people in my life, and people who know me very well know that for 1 year of my life, I lived with my godmother, who was who was the next door neighbor. She used to babysit us. She's not really a godmother because she's Jewish. So you can't be a godmother. And it wasn't, religious purposes. There was no religious aspect to it, but I call her that. And, she's passed on as well. But she's someone that I always relied on, someone I could trust, and someone who always made me feel safe. And I lived with her for a year because my mom needed to get her life started again. And
Mm.
it and people need to realize too that it's not easy. No one expects anyone to start a new life, you know, 1, 2, 3. It takes time, but my mom did it, and through her strength, all my siblings and I have created a life where we genuinely are strong and have strength based on the strength of my mom. You
Well,
know, and you know, like when she started bringing us all together again, you know, she had to buy everything new. She had to, you know, find an apartment, find a home, you know, pay for her kids, right? Going to school, all the food on the table, the clothes that we wore. And she was a single household and she had to do it all by herself. So obviously she had to make sure she did it on a budget, because when you're a one family household, paying rent, paying childcare, paying, you know, for your kids' food, clothing, everything in your apartment, furniture, bedding, for your kids, for yourself, all costs money.
mm. Well, and so you brought up a couple of good points and a lot of valuable information that I don't want people to miss. And something that really hit home for me, because I only just discovered this in writing, folks, just so you know, like Jasmine is like not shared this. So I was reading, like, what are we talking about tonight? And like, there's a couple of talking points we always send each other. So I know which, like what we're focusing on. And I'm like, what am I reading here? Because I genuinely thought we were talking about me. And then I'm like, whoa, we're not actually. We're talking about Jasmine's family. Like, really? And what is so impressive is that the legacy that your mother left, because she is no longer with us and had nothing to do with this situation, like she was not killed, but she's not here. And so just the legacy that she left, to be able to, the bond, the village, the teamwork that she created, that's amazing that she created that with her family. And you know, some people, she must have really pulled herself together in some capacities that maybe this might start to have you think more about, like, well, as a child, you know, and just growing up, and not all for tonight's show, but just starting to think like, what else did they say or do or anything of the sort, so that you were not, like, you didn't carry the victim, like, OtterBox cover. Like, I genuinely think that I still have that cover on at times because of what I went through. And so I'm like walking around like, yeah, I went through this relationship. I want to make sure you know, but you don't have that. And that's like something that's amazing. And I'm excited and to learn more about how she did it. And then I guess, you know, while it wasn't easy, like learning how a person who's gone through such a traumatic event start a new life. So tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, I think for my mom, it's genuinely, and this is for everyone, right? Making the decision to get out of the situation, getting out of that relationship that's toxic for you, either it be physical, mental, emotional, financial, right? Making sure that that decision is permanent.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people don't realize, you know, you saying, okay, I'm going to leave versus that's it. I'm packing up my bags, I'm making a plan, and I'm leaving are two separate things, right? One's a thought and one's an action.
Yep.
So I think creating that action, right? That plan and going with it. I think a lot of people in domestic violence relationships blame themselves, and they need to remember not to blame themselves for the relationship, even if they stayed in the relationship for however many months, you know, however many months, days, weeks, months, years, right? It doesn't matter. You know, those people, you're not the one to blame, and you have to remember that. You're not the cause. And I think a lot of people think that they're the cause of why they're in a relationship like this, but you aren't. They aren't. Knowing and truly knowing, not just knowing in your brain, but knowing in your heart, your soul, that everyone in this world deserves to be treated with respect and love and kindness is really important. And that no matter what, you as a person or your children, if there's children in the situation, deserve a safe and happy place to live, and that we're all not alone, that this happens all the time to various people in different cultures and different religions. I think that's important. And being around people that love you, because when you're in a domestic violence relationship, you don't mean to, but you tend to. And I've seen it with a lot of people, right? You can speak to it yourself, Erica. It's like a lot of people end up taking it and saying like they should have known better.
Yep.
That how did they not see it, or how did they not know? Am I not worthy of love, or not worthy of a proper relationship? But that's not the truth. That's not the case. So being around people, your family, your friends, your tribe, counting on them for physical or emotional support, sometimes even financial, right?
Yeah.
Is important, because those are the people that love you and genuinely are there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Even thinking about, sometimes people don't even want to do this, but if you're in a really bad situation, thinking about getting a restraining order, like that's a way to start your new life, because you feel safer. You feel like you have, the police officers on your side, the government on your side, the courts on your side. And then transitioning, finding a new place. I know this sounds sad, but like a lot of times in the beginning of relationships, the beginning of starting a new life after a relationship like that, a part of your life needs to be a little bit of a secret. And I know that's something my mom did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to have an individual who's going to stalk you, you need to protect yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So finding a new place and keeping it a secret is really important. Making sure you change all your accounts. That's the financial aspect. Getting a new phone number, emails, making sure your numbers and emails, everything's unlisted. And, if you decide to stay, it's just saying it's your place, and you actually get the abusive partner out of your home, making sure that you change that home and making it your own, and not the home that you were in the relationship with.
Yeah.
And I know that's something that we've discussed, and something that you can talk more about as well. And just making like I said, regardless, is always making the place your own, getting rid of all the things that remind you of that individual. That's going to help you start fresh. And I only know this because, obviously a lot of people I know have been in domestic violence relationships. So I've seen the steps and what they've had to go through, not just my mom, but others, family and friends that have dealt with it in different capacities. And knowing that there's people that love you and care for you, I think is going to keep you grounded and solid, and going to help you move forward in life.
Well, and as far as being grounded and solid and helping people move forward in life, that list is a great checklist. And I almost would love it if you could maybe drop it in the comments, later on, and wherever we end up hearing this, because, our virtual assistant that we don't have yet, will be supporting us in getting this in multiple venues. You really hit some really fantastic points. And I'm almost thinking that we could take those points and break them down to additional shows, additional posts, additional ideas. And I want to focus on something that's part of the list, that's your area of expertise. And you shared that you could help people find a new place. I help people find a new place. I get confused. Okay, that's my job. Hello. And you help them make it their own. In the sense of, I guess how could you change it up? And more specifically, how do you change it up whether they move or don't move, and do it on a budget?
Yeah. I think number one, the first thing that people don't realize, and and Erica, you being a realtor, right? This, like, one of the first things that people do when they buy homes, and I think it really changes the dynamic, the energy of the home, is painting it. Right? Like, making sure that you paint your home, each room, and making it feel vibrant, or a specific color that you feel brings positivity or warmth or makes you feel comfortable is really important. And if you're going to do that, obviously I would say definitely, there are a lot of great places, Home Depot being one of them, where you can get a lot of different palettes of colors and change your home. A lot of people need to remember that as you're changing your home, especially the paint, the exterior, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it the exterior, but it's changing a vibe. It's making it feel different. Light, bright colors bring positivity, brings energy, makes you feel good about yourself. Especially in the bedroom, right? Like, you want like maybe beige or light blue, or a light green, light yellow. All that light also brings light into your apartment and makes
Yep.
rooms bigger. And obviously that as a realtor, and you probably share those little tidbits with your your clients as well. And I think Home Depot is a great place to get those to get that paint and different kinds of colors and
Okay.
color schemes, right? Also getting new furniture that's completely different. If you had, just say, one look was very modern, or you were in a relationship where it was your house was had a modern look to it, maybe changing the style completely.
Wow.
Making it more homey or antique-ish, or like somewhere cozy, so it has a different feel. And you
Mm.
want to make sure you want that in your life. And places that I know personally that I've purchased products from, and furniture, and you probably have, and a lot of people out there have, and I know I've saved money by doing this, is Macy's. I love Macy's furniture store. I know a lot of people like Bob's and stuff like that, but Macy's furniture store, I always can get a great discount.
Mm.
And it's, the quality of furniture is amazing.
Yeah.
um so I'm always excited about getting Macy's furniture. I mean, a lot of people also use Wayfair Overstock online, right? It ships to your home. It's quick. A lot of people, if you really want to be on a budget, Walmart, Target, Bed Bath and Beyond, you can get all kinds of furniture in these places. In addition to that, you can get appliances there, right? Like, you're gonna need, a lot of people, when you leave a home, or if the person is leaving, it's a little different. But if you're choosing to leave, you're taking the things that are the most valuable to you, and you're leaving,
Yep.
not looking back. So if you're not looking back, you're not looking for that blender that you used to use to make a smoothie. You're just going to have to get a new blender, right? So you can get those things at the same places on a really good budget. Like I said, Bed Bath and Beyond, Wayfair, Overstock, Macy's, Walmart, all have discounts,
Mm.
all have coupons that you can constantly get. And why not? If you're gonna earn and get buy like these items for a cheaper price, you want to make sure you're earning money, getting cash back for them, or getting discounted gift cards, and being able to purchase these things. Air conditioners are expensive, TVs are expensive, so why not save continuously? If I can tell you I can help you save $100 on a TV on top of all the coupons that you would be getting, why wouldn't you do that, right? And because you're starting a new life, you might not have the money that you once had, being in
Mhm.
a two-family home or a two-income household.
Yep.
Now it's a one-family household, a one-income household, and you have to make sure that you can afford these things. So I think that's really important, that there's so many great places that will give you so many discounts right now, and making sure that if you are doing it at a certain time, seasonal things happen. You can always buy seasonal things.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize that, but you can get a lot of great discounts that way as well.
Oh, wow. So, and one of the things you did without kind of pointing out that you did, and is that you actually were making a list, right? Like, you were making a list of places to shop, making a list in your head of things to buy, and things to do. And so, whenever I've worked with Jasmine, it's like, for me, when it comes to real estate, it's just like it's natural because it's what I do. And then when it comes to shopping, it's natural for Jasmine because it's what she does. And a lot of times when women are going through and coming out of, or men, right, a domestic violence relationship, their self-worth is completely down. And so then I just want to point out that you're worth shopping for.
Yes.
And Jasmine actually stopped me Labor Day weekend, I think in 2019. And I was long gone out of one, but created like some toxic friendships and relationships. So I just was like, she's like, you're worth shopping for. Like, what's your budget? And let's go shop for some things. So just, I want to tell you guys, you're worth it. And what Jasmine will do with you that she didn't like point out she does, but I know because I'm her client and her friend, is that she'll help you make a list. Like, what do you must have? What do you don't want? What do you like, don't like? What's going to make, like what things could, maybe you don't have time to paint or money to paint. Okay, fair. Let's buy a couple of quotes to inspire you. Maybe you don't have time to buy a whole new bed because mine is like $1,400 and I love my bed. Okay, so buy some bedding. And, maybe you don't, you're getting some stuff donated or whatever the case may be, you can still, you're worth loving. Like it's really hitting home for me to make sure that you're worth caring for and loving yourself because you're leaving something that's so painful. And it's vital for you to continue to to fill up your cup. I don't have a cup, but fill it up. And not
you and you actually brought up a good point too, because if you don't have that money, right, like you were talking about, and you are staying in your home, there's so many ways that you can change. Like for example, a couch, right? You have a couch, you love the couch, but it reminds you of your abusive partner. There's couch covers in different colors that you can get that would change it up, and different pillows that will change up your couch that will make it like a completely new couch.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and a lot of people don't think about those things. You don't need to throw out things. You can always just change it up.
Right.
You can also do it like a DIY, do it yourself, change it up that way. But keeping that in mind is really important. And there's so many talented people that are in your lives that you don't even realize that can help you with this.
Yeah. And that talent and the people in your life who can see, like people are reminding me 3 years later that there are things in my home that are still here that I'm like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. And they're like, what do you mean? You have blinds that somebody else bought with your credit card. Like, that's like not a big deal. I'm like, well, no, because I owe money in other places. So I'm just going to like keep that over there. But why is that not like a priority of mine? And why do I not see it as like, no, like change it up. How much does it cost? Sell an extra house. Folks, I sell real estate in case you didn't know. But like, we're going to go back to Jasmine because this is the topic that I did not realize is such like really vital. And I feel like it's not just October. This is like every month. Thanksgiving, you're going to get together as family. There'll be stress. There's going to be domestic conversations there that might not be healthy. And this is the first time that some people might not actually even Thanksgiving be able to be with their family in the dynamics that they're hoping, even Halloween, like the whole stress around that. So I'm really glad that we're doing this and we're here to serve. And I want to know, because you do have so much valuable information. You are so extremely organized and beautiful with creating lists to help. Like it just comes naturally. Like I've never seen anything like it. And I want to know how, I guess, how can we continue to get the information you have in front of more people? And who do you want to meet right now in the month of October?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're talking about life-changing events. So for me, definitely anyone who needs to move, and I know that's a group of people that you would like to meet too, or they want to sell a home, or they just want to get out of their situation. People who are getting married, divorced, having babies. Those are, getting married and having babies are very positive, right? Anyone who wants to save, anyone who likes deals, anyone who genuinely wants to get out of debt or likes to save on, likes to shop on a budget, really important. I would love to meet those kinds of individuals. And everyone and anyone who just wants to gain knowledge about any topic that's happening and how they can genuinely save and learn about how to make residual income or make extra income as a side business for themselves, because during this time, it's really hard to function on a one income household, and pretty much anyone, if you wanted to learn more about learning how to save, please get a free Watch Your Wallet analysis by me, and let's save tons of money for yourself. I think that would be great. You can call and text me privately, message me. I'm your, super smart shopping consultant. My phone number is 845-527-8411. You can also hit me up on Instagram, Living the Jazzy Life, or on my Facebook account, which this is, right, with you, Erica, or even email me at jazyan4@gmail.com. Those are all the ways you can reach out to me.
Well, and I thank you for letting us know the various ways that we can connect with you, because that is, and your energy, like, to know, I'm still like in awe that actually occurred in your family and that you're so resourceful in that manner. And I hope that you continue to allow us to learn more so that we can kind of, maybe you'll journal or reflect or start to think like, what else and what else and what else? Because I want anyone who's watching this, a family, a friend, a neighbor, a customer, a client of ours, just, you find us, you've never seen us, but you're like, hey, this is interesting. If you're in a relationship at home or at work and it's not healthy and you don't feel like your vibrant, wonderful, beautiful self, then, reach out, because we're here. And I have a friend who commented earlier who has resources, and she actually volunteers for a crisis hotline, and she used to be a realtor. She's amazing. And called her today out of the blue, and I did not even know that that was something that she does. So I just want anyone, I would like people to get that light back inside them again. Like, it took me a long time. The light sometimes goes out when things are hard, but having your tribe, and we're honored to be your tribe. And
100%.
Being in this type of dynamic is we might have started joking at the beginning, but it's no laughing matter. And we want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I now know why there was no emoji working at the beginning, because we don't need any emojis. Our emotions inside of us, everything we need is inside of us. And that you can move on with your plans if where you're at isn't like making your heart smile. Home is where the heart is. And if your heart is broken there, then allow us to help you move on with your plans, financially, emotionally, spiritually, you name it, we're here. So this is, anything else you want to add before okay. So this is your Grateful Realtor. We already wrapped up with super savvy, celebrated, savvy, smart shopper. And this is your Grateful Realtor, Erica Rose Siegel. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any resources yourself and you're watching this as well, we'd love to know what they are, because P.S., I Googled, there's not enough in the news about this that's public. There's not. So we want more people available so that we can be the light, be the source of light and hope, because one day your home will be a place that you're proud to call your own. And Jasmine helped make that possible for me, and I didn't move, and I keep shifting. So until next time, we'll see you, I believe, next week, although I think there's something happening.
Not next week. Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay. October 11th, maybe, I think is the right date. Am I right about October 11th?
Next week is October 11th. It's this week after that.
So we're going to be
We'll let you know.
It's October 18th. Erica can do math really well. It's October 18th, which is the day before my dad's birthday. Amazing. Happy birthday, Daddy.
Yay. Happy birthday, Mr. Siegel.
Amazing. And guys, we'll see you, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next week, 2 weeks from now. And we will be here making a difference in the world of domestic violence, shopping, real estate, and beyond. Until next time. See ya.
Bye. See ya.